Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm reading When It Helps You Study by Little Luna, EWA and Wattpad. So let's get into it. Midoriya, your girl has just slammed your head against the kitchen table. You had a test coming up, and your mother told you wouldn't be allowed to leave the house unless you passed that. Why is that? Because you completely flunked your last one since you forgot it even existed. Your brother was sitting beside you eating a cookie and looking at your study material before looking up at you and saying, "You're not gonna pass this." Wow, thanks for the encouragement. Anytime. You sighed and went back to reading before you heard your doorbell ring. Who could that be? You asked yourself, getting up and walking to your door. Once you opened it, you found your broccoli boyfriend in front of you, holding one of his textbooks. "I'm at your assistance." "Thanks, but how did you know?" "Your mom told me." He nodded, saying it wasn't surprising she did, as he joined you at the table. "So what do you need the most help with?" "Well," he pointed out how to quickly escort people safely, and while he had a worried look, you sighed. "Alright, let's get to work." "Bakugou." You laid in Bakugou's bed. "I'm gonna die." "You're not gonna die, stupid. Just pick up the dumbbell." "Easy for you to say, Mr. Six-Pack." You yelled as he threw one of his blankets over yourself. You were extremely close to getting last place in the strength test today. And since Aizawa was doing another strength test tomorrow, everyone had a shot to do better. But because Katsuki knew he'd be at least in the top 3, he decided to spend his time helping you. And the dumbbell you were picking up? It was just 5 pounds, but it was almost like your arms were gonna break off. "Look, stupid. Let me help," he said, getting you out the bed and standing behind you. "Pick it up." You sighed and did as he had said, and after a few seconds his hands helped yours pick it up, and from his position, you got flustered and stopped focusing on the dumbbell. You didn't even notice when he removed his hands, and stood you fully back up. "There, see? You're doing it." You raised an eyebrow before looking back and smiling. "Hell yeah, I am strong." He laughed as you put it down. He then leaned over and said, "You know, there are other ways to train." "Really? Show me then." "Todoroki." You looked around and there were at least 5 different books in front of you, all based on what you were versed at, working with others. You didn't talk to many people, so of course this wasn't your strong suit. The only people you ever really talked to were Izuku, Tenya, Ochako, and of course Shoto. Your mother had bought you these books because she didn't want her daughter to be a no good, no friends weirdo, as she had called it. As you were reading your book, you heard the knock on your window. You looked over and smiled, seeing your half-and-half boyfriend behind it, waving at you. You got up and opened the window and helped him inside. "Hey, Shoto." "Hello, Ann. Is everything alright?" he asked, glancing towards your books. "Kinda. Just studying for something." "Do you want me to help you?" You nodded as you both sat down on the bed. Soon you had started talking not just about your studies, but about your life as well, since you two weren't able to get some time alone to talk for at least 2 weeks. But either way, you enjoyed spending some time with him, and it felt relieving, because with Shoto, you didn't feel lonely anymore. "Tamaki." You breathed heavily as you landed on the roof of the school, pushing your goggles up. You had been practicing your flying more and more recently, trying to increase your stamina so that you could do better in your classes. You sighed and sat down, catching your breath so you could prepare to go back in the air You soon heard footsteps coming from behind the door. Worried it was a teacher, you tucked your goggles into your bag and hid, but realized you had nothing to worry about as your elf friends came out. "Oh, Tamaki! I thought you were a teacher or something. I had a feeling you were up here." He flew back down and stood in front of him. "I was trying to increase my stamina. Any tips?" you asked, a little hopeful. He thought for a moment. "Let me see first." You nodded and put your goggles on. You took a deep breath and jumped as you flew into the air. Once you started to lose your breath, you looked back at Tamaki and suddenly got a burst of energy as you flew out the shape of a heart before landing beside him. "Looks like you don't need help." "No, I just need to have you near at all times." Shigaraki, you continued looking closely at the map at the bookstore. You had a chance to be manager, but in order for that to happen, you had to at least know where everything was. You knew the basics: front door, back door, emergency exit, break room, but you had to know each section of the store and what every genre and subgenre were, and how they were organized. You sighed as you continued looking at the map, wondering to yourself how the hell you were going to remember everything. You were starting to kiss the chance of being manager behind before hearing a knock at your door. You looked at the clock, since it was midnight, and so you knew the only possible people at your house were the police or Shigaraki, and you hoped that it was a second option. You looked out your peephole, seeing that Lady Luck was on your side, and the way that Tamara was at the door. As you let him in, he walked straight to your room and picked up your map without the pinky. "Come on. You need to do something with your life. You can start with manager." Kirishima, you had went to the gym by yourself today, since Kiri had some extra homework to do, and you had to work on your speed, so there was no getting out of going. You entered the gym and looked around. You may have used this gym a lot, and by a lot, I do mean a lot, but you'd never had to use the treadmills, so you had no idea where they were. You walked up to the help desk, asking, "Hey, do you know where the treadmills are?" The clerk looked at you before saying, "No idea," before blowing a bubble from her gum and going back to her phone. You groaned before you felt a hand on your shoulder. "Need help, Lion?" You turned and saw your shark baby, Ijiro. "Iji? I thought you had homework to finish." "I did, but I convinced Bakugou to help me out, and I got it done a lot faster." He flashed his signature sharky smile, to which led you to smile back. "Come on, the treadmills are this way," he said, grabbing your hand and leading you over to them. He helped you on and stood in front of the treadmill, giving you pointers from time to time. He really was the best boyfriend you could ever ask for.